Garden of the Golden Fruit, a parable about temptation. I, the monk, and the forbidden path. Long ago in the southern lands of the eastern mountains, there lived a young monk named Shen, who had trained in silence, fasting, and meditation since childhood. His teacher, Master Jinhai, was revered across the land for his wisdom, and Shen had followed his guidance with unwavering devotion. But one day, after 15 years of study, Shen approached the old master and said, "Master, I wish to see the world. I believe I am ready." Master Jinhai studied his student carefully. "Very well," he said. "But the world is filled with these distractions that pull the mind from the way. Are you prepared for that?" "I have trained my mind like the edge of a blade," Shen replied confidently. "Nothing will sway me." The master nodded and handed Shen a small wooden bowl. "Wherever you go, take this with you. And remember, when the bowl is full, return to me." Shen bowed and left the monastery with a peaceful heart and a hopeful mind, walking barefoot into the wide world. The garden hidden in the forest. After many weeks of walking and meditating under trees, Shen reached a thick forest veiled in mist. As he followed a deer trail deeper into the woods, he stumbled upon a clearing unlike any he had seen. In its center stood a grove of trees bearing golden fruit. Round, luminous, and glowing faintly, as if lit from within. Their fragrance was sweet and strange, both earthy and celestial. The wind whispered through the leaves like the sighs of sleeping spirits. An old woman in a tattered robe sat by the edge of the grove, tending a small fire. Shen bowed politely. "What is this place, grandmother?" She looked up and smiled, her eyes sharp as moonlight. "This is the Garden of the Golden Fruit, a gift from the gods. Each fruit grants a different desire: wealth, beauty, power, pleasure, or praise." "But beware, for once you taste one, you will crave more." Shen chuckled softly. "I am a monk. I have no use for desire." The old woman laughed like wind through dry leaves. "Ah, that is what they all say." She returned to her fire. Shen's curiosity tugged at him. What harm could come from a single taste, simply to understand, he wondered. He walked closer to a tree with low-hanging branches and picked a small golden fruit. It was warm in his hand, pulsing like a heartbeat. With hesitation, he bit into it. Sweetness like fire and honey filled his mouth. His vision blurred and then sharpened. In a flash, he saw himself sitting on a golden throne, surrounded by followers, his words revered as divine truth. The image vanished as quickly as it came. Shen dropped the fruit. His heart raced. The old woman was watching him now. She said nothing. The second and third fruit. That night, Shen could not sleep. Visions of the golden throne returned in his dreams. Not because he desired power, he told himself, but because he could do so much good if people listened. The next morning, he returned to the grove. This time, he said to himself, "I will choose the fruit of wisdom." He took another, one with a silvery hue among the gold. It tasted of clarity and wind. This time, he saw himself in the midst of a vast library, knowing every scripture, speaking every language. His name whispered across the ages. The vision passed, and again he wanted more. Each day, Shen returned to the garden, first for peace, then for strength, then for love. Each fruit offered a new vision, grand, alluring, and just slightly out of reach. He began meditating less, walking less, forgetting the feel of earth under his feet. The wooden bowl he had carried now lay buried under leaves, forgotten. The garden's true nature. After 30 days, Shen had eaten so many fruits that his body no longer felt real. His dreams became louder than waking life. His mind, once still as a pond, now rippled endlessly with images of what could be. He returned to the old woman and said, "Why do the visions fade? I saw power, but I am not powerful. I saw wisdom, but I feel more lost than ever." She did not answer. He cried, "What must I do to make them real?" She looked at him long and hard. "You must eat more." "But I am sick of eating." "Yet you crave." He sat beside her, defeated. "I was once clear. Now I am only confused." She nodded. "That is the nature of temptation. It promises the fruit, but feeds only the hunger." Then for the first time she rose and pointed to a gnarled tree at the garden's edge. "Its bark black, its branches bare. That is the tree of seeing. Its fruit is bitter, and none return to the garden after tasting it." Shen stood slowly. "Then that is the one I must eat. The bitter fruit." The tree was silent. No breeze touched its leaves. No fragrance danced from its branches. Shen reached up and picked a single fruit, dark and veined, like a stone heart. He bit into it. The taste was sharp, like sorrow and winter. His tongue burned, but he did not stop. And then he saw, not a vision, but memory. He saw himself walking into the grove, his face calm, his mind curious. He saw himself take the first bite, then another, then another. He saw the way his breath grew shallow, the way his hands trembled, the way he lied to himself, dressing desire as virtue. He saw the bowl Master Jinhai had given him, still empty beneath a pile of leaves. He saw the old woman, not as a witch or a goddess, but simply as a reflection. Another who had once wandered, and stayed too long. And then he saw the forest as it truly was. Just trees and silence. Their golden fruit, leaves wrapped in illusion. Their glow, only the reflection of a greedy mind. He dropped the bitter fruit and wept. The return. With trembling hands, Shen dug through the leaves until he found the wooden bowl. It was still empty, but it felt light, clean. He turned away from the garden. The old woman did not stop him. He walked for days without food, drinking only from streams and sleeping beneath trees. But with each step, his breath deepened, his thoughts quieted. He did not banish desire with force. He simply watched it pass, like clouds over a mountain. At last he returned to the monastery. Master Jinhai was sweeping the courtyard. He looked up and smiled. "You are back." "I am," Shen said, placing the empty bowl at his teacher's feet. "It is still empty." Shen nodded. "But now I understand why." The master's eyes gleamed with kindness. "Then you are ready." Closing reflection. Temptation does not shout. It whispers. It does not steal. It invites. It does not bind. It offers a leash we choose to wear. True strength is not in resisting with clenched fists, but in seeing clearly the nature of desire. When we stop feeding the hunger, we see it was never real, only a shadow on the wall of the mind.